You know what, brothers? I'm 46 years old. And I can easily say that it took me 43 years to understand what I'm going to talk to you about today, right? The thing that took me 43 years to learn was that I was running from abundance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can look back over the years, man, and I can easily say, you know what, man, I had some wins throughout my life. You know, I've had some beautiful, wonderful people in my life. I've had some nice jobs. I've seen some nice places. But it always seemed like once I got some victories, man, that I was quickly going back down to zero and didn't understand why. Like, I thought that was just the natural ebb and flow of the world, brother. But it was something that was deeper than that, man. I found out, brothers, that I was running from my abundance, man. And I'm starting to look around and I can see several people, the majority of people are running from their abundance and they don't even know it. They don't even know it. What do you mean, soul? What I mean is there are a lot of you that, you know, you understand the creation process. You understand how things are manifested. You know what I'm saying? And things still just won't pan out, even though you know how to create. Things just still won't pan out. In other words, a lot of you have watched the recipe. A lot of you understand, you know, how thoughts become things. A lot of you understand that, you know, the third and the fifth dimension must become one. A lot of you understand that faith without works is dead. A lot of you understand that you can't just be spiritually minded, man, that you have to understand and balance the ego too, man. They must become one and boots must be on the ground. And things still won't pan out. And I'm telling you, brothers, I'm telling you, sisters, that the reason that's taking place is because you're running from abundance. And you don't even know it. But to get to the root cause of this whole situation, right? What we have to first do, man, is redefine abundance. We have to redefine abundance. Because see, a lot of people think this. A lot of people think that if you sitting in a big crib, you know, if you sitting, you know, in a big whip, fleet of cars in the garage, if you sitting with all these nice bells and whistles of the world, a lot of people are calling that abundance. But I'm telling you, brothers, it's not. Those are simply byproducts of abundance. A lot of people think that if you have a whole bunch of zeros in the bank, you know, I'm gonna tell you this, that's a good thing, man. Like to be in the position, man, to be able to help your friends, to be able to help your family, to be able to help rebuild things in your community, to be able to help people in homeless situations. A lot of people are thinking that's abundance, man. And I'm telling you, it's not abundance. It's simply a byproduct of abundance. So what is abundance, soul? I'm going to tell you what abundance is, brothers. Abundance is the ability to walk in your I am 24 hours a day, unapologetically, nonstop, 7 days a week, 365 for the remainder of your life. That's what abundance is. And to be honest, when you think about it, once you understand what abundance is, you can sit back and observe this world, man. You can say, you know what? There are a lot of people with the big homes and the big cars and the big bank accounts that aren't even walking in abundance like people that are homeless, that aren't walking in the same abundance as the crackhead, that aren't walking in the same abundance as the alcoholic. Because these people are able to wake up every day, 24/7, and walk in their I am. Whether you say it's low vibrational or not, they can wake up and walk in one energy nonstop. That's what abundance is, man. And I know some of you are disagreeing, man, but think about this. Think about how much of a toll this takes on a brother. You wake up in the morning and you have your regimen. You wake up in the morning, man, you make your coffee, man, you go to your special place and you listen to your 423 megahertz and you meditate and you vibrate, you get this high frequency, man, for the next hour while you getting dressed and talking to the kids and kissing the wife. or you on cloud 9, or you walking around the house like a prophet, high vibrational, beautiful thing, right? But as soon as you get to the workplace, as soon as you get to the grocery store, wherever you're going, man, you're a different person. Because now you're subject to be shut down by somebody else. You know how hard it is, man, to be a high vibrational person and have to go into a workplace and be somebody else? And be somebody else? That's what a lot of people are doing, man. They're wondering, like, why is my life not a representation? Like, why am I really not abundant? Or why are these blessings coming my way and all of a sudden, you know, my life is going back down to zero again? It's because you're really not walking in abundance. I'm going to tell you, man, it's a difficult thing, man, to know what it is to be abundant and only walk in it part-time. That's a difficult thing, man. It's a difficult thing, brother, to have knowledge about the way this world works, about to listen to the information from a lot of the philosophers and get your own understanding. But on Mondays or Sundays and Fridays and Saturdays and, you know, Jummah and all these services, you go to your church service and you have to cram your mind down to this little box as if you don't know how the world works. That's not abundance, brothers. That's not abundance. And I'm telling you, if your world if your world isn't where you want it to be, it's simply because you aren't walking in your I am nonstop. What do you think prayer is? I've said it a million times, man. That's what prayer is, walking in your I am and never coming out of it. And I'm telling you, the far majority of people aren't doing that. Again, I'm telling you, the homeless man is living more abundant than most people. Because again, he or she can wake up in the morning and be that person, be in that one centralized energy all day. That's what abundance is, brothers. But you ask yourself, you know, what robbed me of my abundance? That's the first thing I had to understand. And it took me years to understand that. So I understand, man, that I'm not walking in the energy I need to be walking in. But what happened, man? This is the way you can look at it, man. Imagine yourself, man, you go out and buy you a car, man, a fixer-upper. You want to buy you a car, and over the next year, you want this car to be track ready. You want to put it on the track, man, and run you some 10-second or less times, right? So you go buy you a car, right? First day you park this thing in a garage, man, somebody slips in the back door and puts a governor on that thing where it's going to max out at a certain speed limit, right? So they put a governor on that thing, man, and the whole year, man, you steadily working on that car. You putting superchargers on it. You putting exhaust on it. You putting intake manifolds and everything, brothers. You getting that thing ready to put out 1,000 horsepower. Next thing you know, you put that thing on the track and it won't bust 60 miles an hour. And it's because somebody slipped the governor in on you, man. And I'm telling you, the reason why most of us aren't abundant today is because someone has subconsciously placed governors on our minds and we don't even know it. So where did the governors come from, soul? I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you. Most of y'all won't believe it. Man, this is good, man. I got some juice with some kale, some celery, apples, and some collard greens. Collard greens, bro. It's addictive. So where did the governors come from? I'm going to tell you this. The far majority of the governors placed on our minds that are keeping us from stepping into our abundance came from the church. So what are you talking about? It came from the church. Think about this, man. I can think about this. The whole time I grew up as a child in church, and my father was a preacher. Y'all heard me say it 1,000 times. In my mind, as a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kid, I thought that the people that were the brokest, that had the least, things, were the blessed people. I thought these were the blessed people, man. So in other words, when I went outside and I saw people, riding in older cars or either walking to church or had on older clothes, in my mind, these were blessed people. But what I didn't know, man, is that these people that we were calling blessed were part of the same problem just years before us. That these were people that had governors on their minds, right? When you think about the church, man, the church teaches you to be submissive to anybody outside of yourself. In other words, it teaches you to be in so much light energy that everyone outside of yourself you're lower than them. You're less than them. And I'm telling you, maybe these words aren't being spoken, but the seeds are being planted, man. The seeds are being planted. And I say this all the time, and I don't want to get off track. But when you're just pumping light energy down someone's throat, it really eliminates their defense mechanism. And if you're roaming the world with no defense mechanism, man, you're seeing everybody else as higher than you. So on a subconscious level, man, you're not even meant to be abundant. You can't walk in your I am 24 hours a day because you're subject to someone else, man. So I'm going to tell you, man, a lot of things that we learned in church are killing our abundance. And it really just came from people. It really just came from ministers that didn't understand what abundance was. You know, we talk streets of gold and mansions in heavens. And again, that's not abundance, man. But what preachers should have been saying is, you know what? This word we're talking about, like the energy that you're in this church today, that you're walking in this high vibrational frequency, stay in it all day. Stay in it until I see you next Sunday. That should have been the main message. And all those other things would have played out, man. All those other things would have played out. Your school system is robbing your abundance. Think about this, man. I don't care if you go K through 12. I don't care if you do an additional 10 years of college. No college, no higher level of institution is teaching you really how to be abundant, how to walk in your energy. All schools have done is suppress you from saying, you know what? Yeah, you might be good at all these things, but you got to narrow it down to these few things, these few levels of understanding, these few curriculums, these few career patterns. It teaches you how to be a bean counter. It's not teaching you real leadership to not fear anything and walk in your I am as it should. So you have to understand, man, that the seeds that have robbed your abundance, the governors that has been placed in your mind, on your soul, brother, they were planted years ago, man, and just the systems and media just consistently water these things, man. And you wake up as an adult, man, you say, you know what? I know too much not to be living a different kind of life. It's because you've been robbed, man. It's because that governor was placed in your mind, brothers. So you say, so understanding that, how can I reverse this thing? Like, how can I fix the problem? How can I become more abundant? How can I walk in my I am? I'm gonna tell you this, brothers. You first have to understand who you are. And I'm not gonna go through this whole spiel of, because we can run down through there for a while. But this is what the Bible says, man. And it's in Peter 2:9. It says this, brother. And I love this verse. It says, but you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. The first thing you have to understand, brothers, sisters, is that you are a royal priesthood. Just understanding that makes a man walk different. Just understanding that makes the fear that you stand on in life, makes it start to just fall away, man. You move different, brothers. The first thing you have to do, man, is understand your royalty, brothers. So to fix a problem, you got to do two things. First, you have to walk in your I am. Right? What I mean by walking in your I am, going back to what I said earlier, man, when you wake up in the morning and you doing all this high vibrational stuff, whether you're chanting, whether you're singing gospel songs, whether you're praying to the a certain direction, whether you're counting beads, whatever it is, whatever your practice is to keep you aligned, that person that you are when you come out of that state in the morning, brother, never come out of it. Have enough faith in your creator to know that you can walk in that all day. Because see this, a lot of people can have all this knowledge or have all this understanding, but as soon as you go to work, man, it's suppressing it. You know you can't feel and think and talk and be a certain way at work because you fear losing your job. That's robbing your abundance, man. That's robbing your abundance. So the first thing you have to do, man, is walk in your I am unapologetically. You have to do that. I'm going to tell you this, man. The highlight of my life is waking up every morning, stepping outside my front door, man, looking around, and knowing that I can be sold 24 hours a day. Knowing that I can be sold 24 hours a day. And I'm telling you, up until I was 43 years old, give or take, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. And this is not something about, I'm not sitting there saying, oh, leave your job so you can be free. No, I'm saying go to that job and be who you are. I'm saying when you go grocery shopping, I'm saying when you go to church, I'm saying when you go to the town hall meeting, when you go to the PTA meetings, be yourself. I'm saying never change, because that's what freedom is, man. That's why a lot of homeless people have more abundance than a lot of us, man. That's why a lot of alcoholics, even though it seems like they may be in a low vibrational state, there's a freedom that comes with that. There's a peace that comes with, you know what? I don't have to change for nobody on this planet. That's abundance, man. So how do you get there, man? And this is the second thing I was going to say. The second thing is you have to get married. Whoa. I know a lot of y'all pulled a call and looked at the screen like, what are you talking about getting married? I'm not talking about holy matrimony with the woman down the street. I'm not talking about becoming one with the man of your dreams, sisters. I'm talking about marrying yourself. A lot of understanding, man. Pretty much all of what I talk about comes down to this knowledge. Comes down to understanding the higher and lower self. Have to become one to find abundance. Have to become one to find freedom. Look at the picture. You have to first marry yourself, man. Once you marry yourself, brother, all the things that I'm talking about that a lot of y'all are really like on the fence, like, man, what is he talking about? Once you marry yourself, once your fifth dimensional world and your third dimensional world become one and operate in harmony, brothers, so many doors are unlocked. So many fears are gone to the wayside. So many avenues of growth are exposed to you, man. Exposed to you, man. So I said all that to say this, brothers. Get the nice things of this world, man. I always say to swing for the fence. Get the biggest of houses. Get the fastest of cars. May your wife have the biggest of asses. But don't call it abundance. Get as many zeros as you can, in your bank account, brothers. See all the beautiful places on the globe, man. The Middle East, Africa, all these beautiful places, brother. Experience all that. But don't call it abundance. Put yourself in a position, man, to help your family, your children, your neighbors, your friends, everybody, man. But don't call it abundance, man. If you want to find true abundance, learn to walk in your I am. In other words, when you wake up, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you're walking in one energy. It's a state, man, where it's just a state, brother, of, all I can say is like complete calmness, man. Complete calmness, complete timelessness. It's like everything just sits still. Nothing is in a rush. Everything just is. You gotta understand that, man. Once we submerge ourselves in this constant energy of God, I'll call it that, right? You have to understand, man, that in that space there is no more pendulum swinging. Everything is constant energy, man. And I'm gonna tell you, when you live in constant energy in this world, brother, you are a beacon. You are a beacon, man. The thing is, this is what I feel, what it feels like, man. Like when I picture myself in the end goal, when I picture myself, when all this is said and done, and I'm in paradise or, you know, the afterlife, whatever that looks like for whatever person, if I'm in the presence of the all, I have no desire for nothing. There's no desire of lack in me. There's no desire of wanting something that I don't have. There's no desire of a lack of abundance, but because I'm submerged in that all. Like all that is now a part of me.